with a relative or a spouse, you're not getting as much of that as you should. Because we take that for granted. We don't think about it. Oh, well, he's my husband. He already knows he's doing a good job. Do any of you guys ever feel that way? Like you just don't even, you don't say it, you don't think it, you don't, do you say, honey, you did a great job of loading that dishwasher the other day. Good job taking out the trash. You rock. No, nobody says that. Nobody does that. You expect them to take out the trash and you expect that they're going to do a good job at it, right? Well, that's going to happen in your business together because you're married or your relatives.
Everybody kind of laughs at this, but I'm a very driven person, and so it's hard for me to act. Although I have lots of compliments, I think, in my head, and I never verbalize them to Angie. And since I'm so driven, even though I know she just did a great job, a phenomenal job, most of the time it's never quite enough, and that's even with myself. We're going to kind of go over a personality assessment a little bit later, but the funny thing is that she, basically, her personality, she's a guardian, and they need to be told that they're doing good things. So, and then you go back to my personality, which says I have a hard time verbalizing it. So you can already see a problem in our particular relationship. So we have to take time out to make sure that we verbalize that to the other person. It keeps them going. And if you're always trying to, being driven and trying to get to the next level, and you never tell them that what they just did was phenomenal, then you're going to get burnt out. You're going to be unhappy with each other.
Sure. And that kind of also goes along then with, is there anybody at work that encourages you in your development? I mean, once again, so he's my husband. Well, am I encouraging him? Or do I just think I am because he's my husband? And of course, I'm his wife. Of course I'm encouraging him. But am I really encouraging him? Kind of the same thing.
Be truthful with that encouragement too. Don't make up stuff, because then it doesn't mean as much when you actually give the good compliment.
Do I have the opportunities at work to learn and grow? Well, if I always say that I'm not good at computers, but he is, am I just going to run with that and never, every time I have a problem, I'm just going to be like, it's all you. I'm not going to have anything to do with it. Or is he going to help me try to figure that out? We're playing on our strengths and weaknesses because that's what's going to make you strong. That's what's going to make you a strong business person and a strong company. But you, at the same time, don't want to ever ignore your weaknesses. You play on them, but you don't ignore. And then the third part is just, are you using your strengths to help your partner achieve their goals? And that's kind of what I just said a few minutes ago. So, one other little part to that, too, is the fact that you may have similar personalities, and there may be something that neither of you are really all that good at. Do you guys find that? Is there anybody that has found that? No? You guys are all good at everything. Is there anything that neither of you are all that great at, that maybe you both have a weakness in?
Yes.
Yeah? What? Who said yes?
We're actually very similar in a lot of ways, and neither one of us are good on the business end. We're both all right-brained, all creative, all passionate about photography, and everything's great there, but when it comes to figuring out how to keep up with our books and how to just anything money-related, taxes, figuring out, just keeping up with the back end of things as far as all those details go, we're both wanting so badly to be able to push off on the other person, and neither one of us are skilled at it, or neither one of us have that niche, or we don't know how.
And then it doesn't get done, and then you're yelling at each other, right?
Yeah,
and that's going to be next too.
Why not? Yeah, are you going to do it? Can I, or it's.
One of the things I was going to say is that if you have a weakness like that, you can't ignore it. You can't just expect someone else is going to do it. You can outsource. You can always outsource. Hire a bookkeeper. I have always done our books. I'm not exactly a math whiz. I don't exactly like it, but I can do it, and I do it. Something that has to get done. If I wasn't very good at it, because I already know he's not good at it, so if I know that I'm not very good at it, then I'm going to hire an accountant. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to put that expense out there. But what you need to do is you need to capitalize on your strengths so that you guys can grow your business to be the best it can be, right? So it's okay to outsource. This last year, I have to tell you, I have learned more about letting go than ever. I'm not a control freak. I'm not even a huge perfectionist. I'm kind of a perfectionist. But neither Angie and I ever want to let go of anything in our business. We want to do it all. Album design, editing, the books, everything. And after a while, it's just going to knock you down. drag and you're gonna get burned out, you're not gonna do it anymore. So don't ever be afraid to outsource, and especially if it's something like that. If you're not overly good at album design, that's an easy thing to outsource. You can outsource editing. That's one of those things that I have a really hard time letting go of.
You're eventually, you know, you're eventually going to have to outsource something. As a husband and wife team or a partner and a partner, your ceiling on what you can do is based on your time. So, and a good use of your time is not going through receipts. You don't get paid to do that. You're doing your editing, you're not really getting paid to do that either. You're making money when the camera's in your hand. So all the way through the process, you should be thinking about, what can I have other people do? We have a gal that comes in, she's our assistant. She's probably in most of these photos, but has been cloned out. Who does our lighting, and this year she's started to do our album design. She does a phenomenal job. The other thing is that she's faster at doing some of those tasks than we are, because we're busy worrying about all the day-to-day operation stuff, like, do we have enough money for next month? What equipment are we gonna buy? Is the stuff back from the lab? Are the batteries charged? Are the clients happy with us? And she doesn't have to worry about that stuff. We say, here's the 60 photos they picked out for their album, start putting a design together. And an hour and a half later, she comes back in and says, all right, it's all done. And we're like, we can't do that in an hour and a half. Because the phone rings and you're talking, just all those, it takes us a half a day to put an album together. So, and I would think that we're more skilled than she is, but she's not worried about all that stuff. So
how many of you guys have taken a personality test before?
Yeah.
I was just say on your comment about letting go, I definitely learned that this last year as well. And what's great is that my wife was trying to take those things from me that she was better at, and the things that I've let go are the things that I wasn't good at. And
See?
I'll never go back to those again, you know, and it's really helped. So,
But now, she was your wife, and so did you still had a hard time letting go even though it was to her?
Oh yeah, still. Even though it was still right there and I could still watch it do it or whatever, but I knew stop, stop watching it do it.
And see, and that's where you can cause an inner conflict with your relationship, because then you're like, well, they don't trust me. Well, that's not true.
Yeah.
When she's saying, you know, let me do this because I need to help you out, let me take on more responsibilities, you know, so you can do more of the things you're good at. And you're like, no. Well, she's hearing, well, I don't trust you then, you know, I'm not trusting you can do this for me as good as I can do it, and that's not the case at all. Yeah, we're going to talk about that again here too. But so how many of you guys have taken a personality test?
While ago.
Super fun, huh? We actually gave you guys one, and you're going to actually have to go online to get the results. We figured it would take way too long to do this in class, but we gave you one so that on the airplane or over dinner or something, you could fill it out. That's yes or no questions.
It's an easy one. It's not like sometimes, barely ever. You know, there's like 5 choices, and you're like, I have no clue how to answer that.
If you've never taken one, I really do encourage you to do this. And if you've taken one, I still encourage you to do this one, because it's really interesting, even though you're like, yeah, I know me, I know my personality. It'll be funny for you to see the results and go, yeah, or yeah, about that other person. So
This one's really easy, and it's super interesting because after it gets done, it's going to give you like scores, and we're going to show you our scores. But then it also has some articles even on how that particular person is in a relationship and what they need in that relationship. So that's going to help some of you husband and wife teams to kind of maybe get in the head of the other one.
well, and that's part of the praise thing. He's always known I need to be told I'm doing a good job, but when he read that, then it was really like, yeah, I guess you do need to be told that. Oh yeah, Lazlo's making that up. But it really does throw it in your face a little more, you know?
You know what might be kind of good too, I'm thinking is, I would ask you to do that for me, like fill it out for me what you think I am.
Oh,
Because sometimes it's hard for us to be like, I don't know, looking at some of them, and it's hard for me to almost be completely honest with myself about how I am about things. Or I'd like to know what you see, like what kind of personality you think I am. And
I'm
see if it
guessing
matches up
they
with
won't
the
match
same.
up. If you do them up, I'm guessing they won't match up.
well, we did ours at Starbucks, and he was asking me the question. So I'm sitting there and he would ask me the question, like whatever the first one is. And before I could even answer, he'd go, oh no. And he'd go to the next one and I'm like,
Yeah, I was answering it for her, so that was good.
So, yeah, I mean, I think you should still do it, but it's fine if you kind of do it together. Because there was one where Andy said, oh, yes to that, and I looked at him and I was like, really? And so then you had to take some time to think about it, but it is pretty interesting. Do you want to show all our scores?
Well, I was gonna